My ex-wife and I are blessed with kids who have incredible sense of self.
Alex, I know you're scared. I have been in much worse spots than this. And that's when I wasn't trying to protect the person I love most in this world. We are going to get through this. We need to jump. These guys don't know it yet, but they messed with the wrong dad.
I mean, I can imagine what drew you to the project, but why don't you tell me what it was when you got this script or this idea pitched to you that made you say you had to be a part of this?
Yeah, so it was about 3-4 years ago. Aaron Kaplan, who I had worked with previously, he called me up and he pitched this idea to me, which was essentially about a father and daughter action piece that was born out of a real life situation that he and his daughter, who's one of our producers, Jaden Kaplan, came up with and conceived when they were on college tours. They were on some backwoods, like rural roads in New Hampshire, and she just had the thought, Dad, what if the car breaks down? And what if someone came, you were working on fixing the car and someone grabbed me. And so it was sort of Jaden's idea back then as a 17-year-old, and then we ended up developing it over the course of a few different drafts of script and this and that. And she's one of our producers at 22 when we shot the film. And so also being a father of two daughters and the core impetus behind Danny's wanting to take his daughter on this trip was to get closer to her because he's been away, he's been in the military, he maybe stayed in the military a bit too long, and he feels guilty in some senses for not having been as close to her or been there as much for her as he should have been. And so those themes really appealed to me and resonated with me.
I would imagine a lot like your character, you want to go through, you'd go through anything to protect your family, to keep them safe. As your kids are like older, got grown kids, like how do you navigate letting them forge their own path without, always wanting to interject and be like, are you sure that's a good idea? Are you thinking this through?
My ex-wife and I are blessed with kids who have incredible sense of self, self-possession, and also are incredibly conscientious and very academically driven, intelligent, so they make really good choices, and we're there to be sounding boards and to guide and to offer advice, And now that the oldest two of mine are kind of moving into the industry in certain capacities, it's nice to offer your experience to them, and to let them know what you've been through and to guide them that way. I'm also really appreciative of the fact that my kids are not like overly into social media and their phone and that whole thing. They kind of have more diverse interests, and that's comforting because I think that can be a real detriment for a lot of young people. But yeah, I think it's cool to have had so much experience, to see them entering a space that you've inhabited, and to be able to offer, guidance. The fact that they, grew up seeing the good and bad effects that it has had on mom and dad is important, so they know that it's not all, always easy or comfortable. There's a lot of scrutiny, there's a lot of rejection. I think that they accept that and understand that. And I think to be in this industry in a healthy manner, you have to have that awareness. Yeah, and I think they do. I think we've done a good job with that. The relationship that I have with them now, like my son feels like my best friend. And yes, I'm still a father, and he regards me as such, but we also have so many similar interests in music and comedy. We have these really in-depth conversations about world affairs, about, and I think it's really special to be able to have that.